Have you ever wondered what it truly takes to start a new life in a foreign land? Today, we're diving into a powerful story that might just change your perspective. It's the story of Dan, a man whose journey from a small farm in Mexico to the heart of America is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Dan's story doesn't begin with a grand dream or a thirst for adventure. It begins with desperation. Imagine working the land from sunrise to sunset, pouring your sweat and soul into the earth, only to find yourself stuck with no way to provide a better future for your family. That was Dan's reality. The crops were failing, the money was gone, and hope was a luxury he couldn't afford. The decision to leave everything he knew behind wasn't a choice. It was a last resort. His journey north was a harrowing ordeal, a silent pilgrimage fueled by fear and a sliver of hope. He walked for days under a scorching sun, his throat parched. He hid from patrols, slept in ditches, and faced dangers that would break most people. Every step was a battle against his own body and the constant fear of being caught and sent back to the life he was so desperate to escape. This wasn't the pursuit of a dream. It was a flight from a nightmare. He wasn't chasing wealth. He was chasing survival. When Dan finally set foot on American soil, the relief he expected was quickly replaced by a profound sense of isolation. He had arrived, but he was a ghost. The language was a wall he couldn't climb. The culture, a puzzle he couldn't solve. People walked past him, their words a blur of sounds he didn't understand. He was surrounded by opportunity, yet he felt completely invisible, a stranger in a strange land. The dream of a better life felt more distant than ever. He found himself in a shelter, feeling lost and defeated. But it was there, in that moment of despair, that a small act of kindness changed everything. A volunteer, seeing the hopelessness in his eyes, handed him a simple spiral notebook and a pen. She couldn't offer him a job or a home, but she gave him a piece of advice that would become his lifeline. She said, "Learn one new word, just one, every single day." That night, holding the pen, Dan wrote his first English word, hope. This simple task became his daily ritual, his anchor in a sea of uncertainty. Hope, then work, then food. Each new word was a small victory, a tiny brick laid in the foundation of his new life. He took any job he could find, the ones no one else wanted. He washed dishes, swept floors, and picked crops under the same sun he had tried to escape. But this time, it felt different. The pay was meager, but it was a start. He was exhausted, but he was learning. Every evening, no matter how tired he was, Dan would open his notebook. He practiced his new words, whispering them to himself. He listened intently to conversations around him, trying to connect the sounds to the words he was learning. His progress was slow, almost imperceptible at first. There were days filled with frustration, days when he wanted to give up and surrender to the feeling of being an outsider. But then he would look at his notebook, at the growing list of words, and remember the promise he made to himself. 1 word a day, 1 step at a time. This disciplined approach began to pay off. A few words turned into broken sentences. Broken sentences turned into simple conversations. He started to understand his boss's instructions. He could ask for what he needed at the store. Each small interaction chipped away at the wall of isolation, replacing it with a sense of connection, a feeling of belonging. He was no longer a ghost. He was becoming a person again. Years passed, 10 years of relentless, quiet effort. 10 years of waking up before dawn, working until his body ached, and then spending his nights with his notebook. Dan was no longer washing dishes or sweeping floors. He was still on a farm, but now he was the one giving the instructions. He had become a farm manager. He understood the seasons, the soil, and the business. He had earned the respect of the workers and the trust of the owner. The man who had arrived with nothing but the clothes on his back and a heart full of fear, now managed a thriving operation. He had built a life, not through a single stroke of luck, but through thousands of small, consistent steps. His story isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's about the incredible power of perseverance. It's a reminder that success isn't always a giant leap. More often, it's the result of showing up day and doing the work. Dan's journey redefines what we often think about immigration. It's not always a story of ambition, but one of necessity. It highlights that the drive to build a better life often comes from a place of deep struggle. And his success shows us that the biggest changes don't always come from grand opportunities, but from seizing the smallest ones with unwavering determination. The notebook and pen, the single word a day, these were his tools. His own grit and resilience built the rest. So, what can we learn from Dan? We can learn that no matter how overwhelming our challenges seem, progress is always possible. It's about breaking down our biggest goals into the smallest possible steps. Want to learn a new skill? Start with 5 minutes a day. Want to change your career? Start by reading 1 article. It's the 1 word a day philosophy. Dan's story is a powerful reminder that we all have the capacity for incredible growth. It's not about where you start. It's about the journey you commit to. It's about having the courage to write that first word in your own notebook, whatever that word may be for you. Thank you so much for watching and for letting us share this incredible story with you. If Dan's journey moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring stories. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What's the one word you're focusing on in your life right now? Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.